there all, and welcome to today's piece, where we'll be looking at the FCM 50 ton. Now, at the gate, forgive me, there seems to be a bit of a double chat bug in replies. Don't know why it's like that, but I find it rather pressing, as you noticed, we asked to see if one of our light tanks is going to be going a middle, and since he is, we are going to make use of that. But before we do, on to start sketch. That is ever so useful. Now, out the gate, we are actually going to head up mid into one of the typical TD positions, because our scouts are indeed going to be rather aggressive on this, which means all the tanks that come across this way, just inside draw and within range of that scout tank able to spot it over in this area, we're going to get some free damages. And as well, I should note this, in City, whilst you go into it, or I should say when you get into it, if you're on either side of this building, you need to be very careful of TDs shooting up these lines, because they can shoot in between those buildings and up into. And this blue zone is probably more safe than taking either side of that building, but you have to be darn careful, because if you're too aggressive, you'll be shot from anyone on this side as well as anyone on either one of these roads, and you're going to have little recourse but to sit there or back out as they peg you and you get back into the alley that you came from. And then you've got Valley, and don't go there unless you literally have to, but even then, think twice about it. Now, getting back into the marriage and going up the middle, as I had mentioned, to make use of our scout tanks, of which you'll see gets into a very good position. This bush, if you're quick enough to get into it, it's probably one of the best spotting bushes on this map. Now, as we pop this WZ-111, who the poor bastard just got tracked. Time to off him, and this is precisely why you do not go along that J-line route. As I detailed in StratSketch, you need to swing by it, folks. Now, we probably won't have anything else lit, because we just killed the top tier heavy tank. I don't think anyone else is going to make that same mistake. So, initially, we were going to go over and head in Prussian City and make use of that. But watch this. There are... wait for it. It's C-34 and an IS that just popped up in Valley. We're going to motor back over that way, because that means there is nothing in City of consequence, and admittedly, I don't think our team knows how best to handle a C-34. And being in a 50 ton, there's no sense in pushing straight up this 2 line. We're going to go back here and make use and hope that they don't have the best view range, and again, make use of staying outside their view range as far back as we can get. Not detected. This doesn't always work, but it goes to show that if it's a tier 8, not everything's got the best view range, you can go back here and snipe things as they come in. Not always the best idea, but in this case, very handy, which is one of 2 reasons I wanted to choose this replay, to show you for the 50 ton showed it off, and there's one other at the tail end, which, to be fair, isn't something anything in particular to the 50 ton, but good lord, it's hilarious. Poor IS, never knew what was hitting him. Now with the T-34 backing up, we're going to swing wide, so hopefully in an attempt to get him to focus on our T-29 and 30-01. This is usually a better idea anyway, because you've got more of a dip, you're not out in the open with that horrid terrain resistance bit we're looking at now. That's a a dip. Now, as we come up here to play with the T-34, we've got Commands of City fully, which means we should be able to push this. Oh, leaving him at 30 hit points. Good stuff. Now, they're backing up. And since we've already got 2 people pushing in, waiting to pop the Crombie, now we push in with them. This is one thing I hate to admit, but you're going to have to make it a habit of with the 50-ton artillery. We love you too. Right, the 50-ton, if you can help it, in a push, do not be out front. You do not have the armor for it. There are very few times you will be able to make use of it, and at a push, certainly not one of them. Oh, thank you, 700Y, for waffling that shot. Now, coming up and getting under this lip, since most tanks that don't have decent gun depression cannot shoot you as you come up here. Poor Crombie doesn't know what to do with himself. Now, we're going to let this T-29 play a bit hold down first and soften them up. Yes, we're not getting the damages that we want, but all the same, we need them focusing on him. T-25 fires, we pop up to try and get a shot on this Sioux, and T-29 doesn't keep him honest. Sad face. Right, now that he's backed up a mite, we're going to push again, hoping the T-29 is going to keep him honest. Which again, this is something unfortunately you're going to have to get accustomed to doing. Is supporting your allies from close distances if you can, if not spotting from range. Cheeky little Sioux coming round over there, which is something you have to watch out for on this map. Not a lot of people make use of that position, but late game, it can be good for protecting the cab. Now, we know he's back there and he's got company with him, which is the artillery piece. Here's where the fun comes into play, and we have 9.14 to thank for it. Ah yes, unaware of our presence, but what we're going to do, hello friend, and over he goes. We love these new physics patches. So bloody fun. Now that all the fun bits are over, let's have a quick look at the after battle. That was 3600 damage, 101k income. Yeah. It feels a bit less than, say, the R6, the WZ, for the respective damage. That's not to say this is a bad credit editor, but for me, it feels per damage, mind you, per damage done, it feels ever so slightly less than R6, WZ, Yog Tiger, and the like. It is close, mind you, so it is still a very good credit earner. Now, looking specifically what we did, this was a tier 8 match. This tank only sees tier 9s, but even then its 212 pen does decent in that. We missed 5. A lot of that was either blind shots at range, but 16 shots fired with 15 pens. That is glorious. Now, getting a bit analytical on the tank and having a look at Tank Inspector, this tank is a heavy tank only in classification. It plays very much like a medium tank. It has medium top speed, 51 kph. It has power-to-weight ratio that's better than some medium tanks, let alone a tier 8. It has an accurate gun. It's got decent gun handling, which can be boosted with use of a vertical stabilizer, which I highly advise on anything you're going to be shooting on the move or needing the snapshot. 50 ton definitely falls into that category. Rammer, well, that goes without saying. And one thing I find unique to this tank, it already has good view range, 400 meters. That's exceptional for a heavy tank, let alone a medium. And as I'd mentioned earlier, this plays like a medium tank. I personally slap coated optics on it. You spot things well before they spot you, and you can do a lot of aggressive lighting. Or, if that's not your thing, vents. Slightly better reload, slightly better gun handling. DPM on it. It's above the average, 1800 for the tier, for heavy tanks. And that's, I believe, on par or above most of the mediums as well. So this is a good tank. Pref 9, good pen, good DPM, good speed. Downside is lack of armor on it. That may be red, but angled at this as you should be, it's not going to do you many favours. 140 to 150 effective, and then you've got the turret. Yeah, 180 encroaching down there, 160, 50, 20, and anywhere around the mantlets it's got no armor behind it, 120. And there's some guns 120 enough that you can overmatch the roof of the turret. But if you can help it, you're not going to be presenting this tank front on to anything. Yes, it'll be tempting to play it like a heavy, because, well, it is a heavy, and you've got that DPM and HP to make use of, but that will be very situational. As an end note, final verdict sort of thing as always. This, being a pref tank, is very good. It's a good French crew trader, good pen, speed, mobility, everything you could want in a comparable medium, even though it's a heavy. But I highly advise you pick it up. It's good fun. I like it more than the CDC. Some people may hate me for saying that, but it is a good medium tank in a heavy tank's clothing. And on that note, thank you all very much for watching. And as always, I hope you found this entertaining, if not informative. Good day.